I think one thing we're seeing is that we're entering a new phase of growth in Africa. It's no longer just about net additions, and we're seeing this very much if we look at North Africa, where the three major operators in Egypt, for example, Etisalat has just entered most latterly, and all three of the operators there are looking towards the high-end subscription end of the market. They've all now launched 3G networks. And I think what that shows is that operators are very aware they need to attract customer loyalty. They need to not just look for net additions, for new subscription growth, but maintain that sense of customer loyalty. And they can do that by adding on value-added services, by being innovative in their marketing approaches, by building brand. All those three things should ensure a period of customer loyalty. So if we look at Africa and penetration growth in Africa, for example, it took 19 and a half years for the first 100 million subscriptions in Africa. But growth has really accelerated in recent quarters and indeed years. So it took 6 quarters for the next 100 million subscriptions, 5 quarters to go from 200 to 300 million subscriptions. We're expecting subscriptions to reach the 400 million figure by the end of this year, which would mean it would have just taken 9 months for that last 100 million subscriptions. So operators are no longer able just to count on the rapidity of growth, because growth will slow down after a period of time. They need to start thinking about being more innovative in the way they produce services. An example of that is mobile banking, branchless banking, where we're seeing a huge amount of potential. And operators like Orascom, like Etisalat, have been very forward about suggesting that this plays an important part of their strategy, particularly in those markets where there is very low banked penetration and high numbers of mobile subscribers. It seems to me that the ecosystem for mobile banking is ready to take off. It's great for operators. There's relatively low ROI required. There is opportunity for new areas of revenue in terms of revenue sharing with banks. And indeed, for banks themselves, mobile banking has a great opportunity. It's an opportunity for banks to attract a new customer base, and particularly a rural customer base, which typically they haven't been able to foster in the past. Although MTN remains by far the largest operator in terms of numbers of subscription numbers, proportionate equity subscription numbers, one has to look also at Vodafone looking to expand their strategy in Africa. Vodafone have had a strong emerging markets strategy for a number of years now, although there's some signs of this potentially slowing down. There's no sign of it slowing down either in India or indeed in Africa, and we've seen that most recently through its interest, or taking a majority interest in Vodacom, but also its continued activity in Ghana, as well as further in North Africa, in Egypt. Other European operators that look to consolidate their strength in Africa include Orange. It's recently increased its interest in Kenya and in Uganda. And then Millicom, most recently, of course, just entering Rwanda as the third market entrant. So there's a lot of interest from the traditional players, but a phenomenon that we are seeing and that we think is really very interesting indeed is what's happening from the Gulf. A number of Gulf-based operators are looking to move further into Africa, and not just into North Africa as Etisalat's done in Egypt, but Etisalat itself is now moving into Nigeria. Its acquisition of a majority stake in Atlantic Telecom is a very telling move from the operator. So Etisalat seems to have Africa very much as a key part of its strategy. But not just Etisalat, of course, Zain have had an operational footprint in Africa following its Celtel acquisition, and they will want to be pursuing that strategy. And we would expect to see the likes of QTEL and Saudi Telecom, who have spent a lot of investment into Southeast Asia and South Asia. It wouldn't be too surprising to see QTEL, for example, which has already moved further into North Africa through its interest in Wataniya, perhaps move into the sub-Saharan African area.